thanks to the organizing committee for this opportunity to share my thoughts. My speech is a call out for us to be part of, not apart from, the change we want to see. Being part of change means action. We stand up, support each other, and sustain that support through difficult times and difficult conversations, then succeed together. I march to express my solidarity with women who suffer various forms of violence silently. I speak from my experience as an African Australian, a woman with a disability, a woman of faith, a daughter, a sister, an auntie, a friend, a neighbor, a colleague, and a mentor. Thank you. I have a family history in this regard. When my grandfather died, my grandmother, Joyce, stood up against the tradition of widow inheritance, a practice that disempowered women. She insisted on remaining single and independent rather than be inherited by the relatives. Then, my mother, in my early childhood, stood up against the negative culture of neglecting children with a disability. Often when it rained, Mom would carry me on her back. Sometimes she'd be pregnant. As I grew older, I became heavy. But she would carry me sometimes to school or to church. Today, I honor them for their focus and resilience. As a teenager, struggling with the impact of my disability, I never forgot my father's advice. You are unique, you are special, and your life can make an impact just the way you are. Thank you. It is this background of resilience and passion to make a positive contribution in people's lives that encourages me to march with you today. I march because my identity as a woman with a disability, from a culturally and linguistically diverse background, and a woman of faith, has sometimes exposed me to social and professional barriers. In 2017, the Diversity Council of Australia released a report. The report is called Cracking the Glass Cultural Ceiling. It details how culturally diverse women experience a dartboard jeopardy. That is, the agenda and cultural background combine to make it doubly difficult for them to access leadership roles, resulting in a glass cultural ceiling. The report says culturally diverse women are ambitious, they are skilled and capable and resilient, but face invisible organizational barriers that lock them out of development opportunities. Now, it can take a bit of time to understand how people in different cultures speak, let alone relate or care for others. But we need to provide opportunities to grow understanding. Back in my early days of settling in Australia, a colleague asked, "How are you going?" My answer, "By train." Another time, a friend asked, "How are you traveling?" "By car," I replied. I didn't know that they were simply asking about my well-being, about how I was settling in and coping. I say this to highlight the fact that women from culturally diverse backgrounds can face language and cultural barriers, as well as values, prejudice sometimes, and stereotypes that limit them from accessing developmental and career opportunities, or just being what they want to be. How can the next generation of culturally diverse women live to their fullest potential, free from intimidation, discrimination, and violence. How can the next generation be it unless they can see it? To address all forms of violence, we need perspectives from diverse voices at the leadership table. We need voices speaking on behalf of one another instead of denouncing and discriminating against one another. Canberra, we are the system. We need to take responsibility. Everyone's action matters. Today, I honor all the women and men who have stood up for me and supported me in various times, both of happiness and difficulty. I honor my dear friend, a culturally diverse woman of excellence, who passed away last year with her 2 children in a house fire. Regardless of cultural background, disability, sphere of influence, we all have the same needs for love, hope, forgiveness, connection, and acceptance. You know that saying, it takes a village to raise a child? That concept is from Africa, and it is expressed beautifully in the Zulu language. It's the word Ubuntu, which means I am because we are. We need to see how powerful being connected across generations and looking out for each other can be. To do this, we need to build with one hand and protect with the other. I march because it is time to change our culture so that the next generation of women, regardless of their skin tone, their time zone, regardless of the number of birthdays celebrated, can live their lives to their fullest potential. So my ask of Canberrans is to recognize the contribution of women from culturally diverse backgrounds in their spheres of influence this year through provision of development opportunities and by nominating them for leadership positions and awards and community awards. This action will model diversity and inclusion for the next generation in a powerful way. Thank you.